And Jonathan Sharks used to always tell me that guys needed to get to the tail end of their 20s, particularly like non-super duper stars needed to get to the tail end of their 20s to where they really started to figure out what they want. And as valuable as Kyrie is on the basketball court, I think his best role has been as a 1B to someone else's 1A. Because, like, let's be honest, he's 6'1" and 170 pounds. He's not a big guy. I don't care what his measurables actually say. I stood next to him. Like, he's a slight guy, and the fact that he can play NBA basketball at this level really speaks to his how impressive he is. And he's just found a place where he's comfortable. I think he's going to look to avoid saying anything or doing anything insane during these finals, because just playing basketball and going home has brought him a really contented season. The thing I will say about his play, though, is at least in the postseason, he's defending like a madman. I mean, all over the court, as hard as he can, almost every possession. And I really never would have expected that.
All right, taking a quick break to talk about Prize Picks. It's final season, championship season right here. NBA coming to a close, but you got the hockey playoffs, you got baseball going on throughout the summer, and Prize Picks is the best way to play daily fantasy. You just pick 2 guys, pick more or less on their projections, and you're off.
And it's contagious, right, Bobby? Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But when you get it right and you get the streak going, that's when you can really come up big. So do not miss out if you haven't signed up already.
Your official daily fantasy sports partner. Use code CLNS for 100% deposit match up to $100 at Prize Picks. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm happy for him. I think it's going to be interesting to see in Boston what the atmosphere is like. They're obviously going to boo him. They're obviously going to be on him. But is it something that takes over the game, takes over the series in a way that it did in that Brooklyn-Boston series a couple of years ago? That's the question, I think. Like, it's going to start in that place, I feel like. But as the series goes on and as, the finals kind of take over in the championship stakes here, you do hope it kind of bumps to the back burner a little bit, because we've done this too many times at this point.
Well, I think the thing to watch is not Kyrie, but Luka. And Luka looks for offense. Like, he looks.
That's what I'm curious about. Like, is he going to internalize what's going on with Kyrie?
I really
in the crowd
think
there?
He will. Like, you saw him, if you watched game 5 against the Wolves, he picked one random fan in like the third court behind the stanchion and was like, "You're dead." So it's almost uncomfortable watching him do this sort of thing, because he's so thorough. And when he does, just really when he goes for it. So that's kind of my I don't know, just fan take on it in terms of what I see happening. I suspect what will happen is in Boston, at least in games 1 or 2, you'll see a little bit of a Kyrie dud. He doesn't have great games in and out when you go watch what he's done in the postseason. I mean, against the Oklahoma City Thunder, they put Jalen Williams on him, and I don't want to say he was ineffective, but he played a very different game, much more facilitation of the ball. Really picked and chose his spots. Like, if I'm the Celtics, I sort of wonder if you put, even Brown on him for periods of time and just sort of attempt to blank him out, because length is what bothers Kyrie at this point in his life. Size, like the Wolves had to sort of dare Mike Conley to stick with Kyrie in the end, because they just had to keep rotating guys over to Luka, and that's when Kyrie started to eat. So I think if you're trying to blank Kyrie out of the game, you do so with some length.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed this video, so subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS.